Hello everybody, what's going down? Welcome to July. It's July 1st, Monday. July 1st, and my name is Sonja Marie with Wordlife Astrology, here to give you some astrological information along with some spiritual understanding to go with that. If you are returning to my channel and you love, or at the very least resonate with some of the things that I say, and you keep coming back, thank you. I appreciate you. I really do, more than you know. And for those that are new here, I appreciate you as well, because Spirit brought you here. Somebody allowed you to get on in here. So hopefully this information will land in your heart somewhere deep inside of you and resonate with your growth as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, my name is Sonja Marie, and I'm here to give you some weekly understanding astrologically. That is what's going down this week. This is for all signs. It doesn't matter what your sun sign is, what your rising sign is. This is literally the transit read for this particular week, starting July 1st, to offer up some energetic understanding of what's happening this week. And then you put that up against your chart, up against your personality, and see how you gonna really rock with this week, how it's going to affect you. Should you go in head first, or should you hide? And there is no right or wrong answer, that's for sure. So let's get down into this thing. Oh, after I remind you, I am an artist as well. I'm a writer, I'm a Renaissance woman of sorts, a poet, a performer, an actress, a singer, and I have two songs that are out. They're poetry and a little bit of singing on all musical streaming apps. The first one is called What? And the other is I See Stars. Go get those things from my one-woman show, Free Bricks. Yo, check them out and let me know how you like them. Put it in the comment section below. All right, let's start with Monday. Today is July 1st. Again, welcome to July. Woo! Time is flying and the moon is in Taurus. I always like when the moon is in Taurus, y'all. Why? Because it affects each and every one of us differently. I absolutely know that. But its general energy is to allow us to calm down. If you find yourself being pulled in and out of potentially dramatic situations today from an emotional standpoint, and then somehow you spring back into calm, into grace, into a little bit of patience, you have the moon in Taurus to thanks, because that's what the moon in Taurus does. It allows us to see what it is we're about to react to before we actually react. Remember, Taurus is the bull, and once the bull reacts, oh, forget about it. Everything is destroyed, right? So that is the beautiful exaltation of the moon being in Taurus. It actually surveys its reaction, its emotionality before it lends it, before it gives it out, before it responds. It makes it a lot more emotionally mature in that way. So hopefully you can get some of that on you. At the very least, just try not to eat too much, because the moon in Taurus, and Cancer, by the way, makes us want to gobble up a little bit of snacks. Also today, with that moon being in Taurus, it is going to conjunct Mars. I like that. I love when the moon being reactions and emotions and our connections with our mother and women. I love when the moon favorably, that is a conjunction, meets up with Mars. Mars is action. Mars is motivation. Mars is inspiration of some sort, but like physical inspiration, right? You think it and then you get up and do it, right? Mars is about sex. Mars is about anger and confrontation as well. Oftentimes good confrontation, like standing up for people as well. So when you have the moon, your emotions, and Mars, confrontation and fighting and anger and aggression, when they come together in a very, very favorable, formidable way, it allows our emotion to be backed up with some movement. It allows these calm reactions that I just explained to you to be backed up with even calmer and more methodical Mars in Taurus movement and steady steps. That's beautiful. That's responsible. Again, that is absolutely emotionally secured. So at the very least on this Monday, look for ways in which we can feel a thing and move in a way that will garner great results, not only for you, but for everybody involved. Because that Taurus energy is very, very compassionate, and it's loyal and devoted, and it wants everyone to win and feel good. Also, that moon in Taurus will sextile Venus in Cancer. Oh, I love when the moon and Venus get together. It's like a love fest, right? Because if the moon is responsible for reactions and Venus is responsible for what? Money and love and beauty and value and self-worth. Venus is responsible for possessions as well. So when the moon sextiles Venus, which is a favorable aspect, it's saying, yo, feel good about who you are. Venus in Cancer. Feel good about taking care of yourself. Feel good about you feeling good. Feel good about you for once being able to take a deep breath without drama following you. Feel good about for once if you feel like, you know what, I'm going to take a long 2-hour bath tonight and no one is going to knock on my door. Feel good about that. So the reaction, the moon, can follow up with it, can allow you to feel good on top of you having the intention, Venus, to feel good. Venus says this is the intention. The moon says, well, this is how we actually are going to feel. So make sure they come together on one accord. And in that way, make sure that you take care of yourself and be very, very affectionate towards you. Cancer and Taurus, that's all they want you to do, is to feel good. And lastly, today on Monday, that moon in Taurus will sextile Saturn in Pisces, but it's going retrograde, remember? The moon, again, reaction and emotionality, wants to come together with Saturn. Even though Saturn is going retrograde and it is reviewing a whole bunch of work that we've done, a whole bunch of spiritual work to be exact, a whole bunch of passive-aggressive turn to aggressive work. And what I mean by that is that Saturn in Pisces is passive-aggressive. When it starts to unpack all of the passive-aggressive movements that we have, it starts to allow us to see from an emotional perspective, since that moon is sextiling Saturn. Possibly, maybe I could have reacted towards this particular situation in an aggressive way, in a calm, aggressive way, as opposed to being passive aggressive and putting the blame and the shame on other people, pointing the fingers at other people, or at the very least getting the heat off of you, knowing that you are responsible for some things. You dig what I'm saying? Today, with the moon sextiling Saturn in Pisces, it says, no, you know what? Don't be passive aggressive about the things that you need to learn. Please don't be passive aggressive about the lessons and the fear that wants to come up. Look it dead in its eyes, because with that moon being in Taurus, it says we're going to respond calmly. We're going to respond with steps. We're going to respond with a complete understanding without pointing fingers. Taurus moon says we're going to respond with ease and with grace and with a passion and a determination to come to the bottom of why we feel the way that we feel. This is a good thing, y'all. Look, don't leave no stone unturned when it comes to figuring out how you feel today, Monday, because everybody, all the energy in the universe is on your side to allow you to come to a viable solution, at the very least an understanding of how you feel. Monday's key word is feel. And on Tuesday, about 11:50 a.m. Eastern Time, the moon will go into Gemini. With the moon being in Gemini on Tuesday, we come from that moon in Taurus and its understanding of emotional reactions to being more heady about our reactions, looking for information in regards to our reactions, getting to the bottom of things. Actually, also, Gemini energy, when it's in the moon, holds a place of giving people and situations the benefit of the doubt, because the moon in Gemini, starting Tuesday again, will allow us to see all aspects, allow us to see all compartments, allow us from an emotional standpoint, again, to give people the benefit of the doubt and to recognize that, yes, I mean, people can have varied perspectives. No one is wrong or right. Everyone has their vision for the most part. Now, also on Tuesday, Neptune goes retrograde until December 7th, 2024. With Neptune being in retrograde, we are being given the opportunity to reconfigure, reestablish, re-examine all things that Neptune holds. And that's drugs and escapism and alcoholism. That's our dream time. That's our delusions and our confusion. That's our spiritual intake, our spiritual hits, our gut conversations, those things that probe us in the middle of the night, or when we're walking down the street and all of a sudden Spirit says, go do this, go do that. Well, with Neptune in reverse, we will review all the things and all the hits that God has been giving us, all the insight, all the good and bad information and indifferent information that comes through the ethers to say, I think this was for you, boo-boo. I think this is the path we have to go down. I think these are the choices that we should consider. Spirit will speak loudly during Neptune in retrograde. And I want you to do yourself a favor. Listen. Because if you don't, you could possibly slide into even more confusion. As Neptune says, I'm trying to get you to get the answer. But if you don't listen to Neptune's answer, here comes the clouds of confusion and delusion on top of more of confusion and delusion. Remember, listen to Spirit. Spirit never steers you wrong. You just have to believe it. Believe it, human. Believe it. Listen, I'm talking to myself too, by the way. Also on Tuesday, Mercury trines Neptune going reverse. I love that Mercury trines Neptune. Why? Because as I explained, with Neptune going backwards and divulging more information that we need to receive from Spirit, more inspiration, more internal conversations, Mercury says, notate that. Mercury says, write that down. Mercury says, write something about it. A book, an essay, some type of scribe, a letter, an apology, some type of accountability. Say the thing, apologize. Mercury again deals with conversations, communication, planning and strategy, our intellect, all things started and ended by the brain, you dig? So if we can think of the things in which Neptune is emptying, we can literally take our emotions out of the equation and put our brain on it. Mercury, we can be emotionally detached by what Neptune is revealing. Because here's the deal, squirrel, Neptune going retrograde can hurt your feelings. You know why? Because it goes deep down into the subconscious, unconscious parts of who we are. Places that we don't necessarily want to reveal to ourselves, let alone the world, you dig? So when Mercury comes in there and says, don't worry about it, reveal it. As I favorably attach myself to Neptune's upchuck, so to speak, let's just think about it from a detached standpoint. Let's write it down. Let's get it out. Let's put it on our brain and figure it out so we don't get caught up in our emotions. And Neptune says, okay, let's get more confused because now we're emotional. Let's smoke more because now we're emotional. Let's drink more and get into our escapisms because now we're emotional. No. Mercury says, think about it. See yourself clearly and then make better choices so you don't slide into further delusion. Also, the moon will help us out on Tuesday as well because the moon sextiles Neptune going reverse. So our emotionality is already involved with the unpacking of we are ready. We are primed. We are holding our breath. We are taking deep breaths. We are going through it. We are seeing ourselves and our delusions and the things that we can listen to or the things we forgot to listen to. We're okay with that. Again, allow the emotions to be okay with seeing all things as opposed to being attached to what you did and did not do. And I feel guilty and shamed about it. Okay? Utilize that sextile of the moon and Neptune so you can further forgive yourself. You can further feel good about yourself moving forward and getting rid of all the cobwebs in Neptune's corner. You dig? That moon will also trine Pluto in Aquarius going retrograde. Yeah, so not only are we reviewing the cloudy spaces of Neptune, but we are reviewing as well from an emotional standpoint with Gemini helping us along to be a little separate, and to see from an emotional standpoint how it makes sense. You dig? What Pluto is doing now. Pluto says, going retrograde, I'm unpacking the things that you need to do in order to transform, in order to change, in order to be better for yourself and to step inside your own power. Because for so long, you've been giving your power away. So with the moon in Gemini on that day, it says, think about it. Really think about it. Ask the questions. Ask yourself the questions. Write in your journal how you've been giving your power away. From a detached standpoint, not a boo-hoo, I feel so hard on myself kind of standpoint. We're done with that for now. Okay? Because how long are you going to really beat yourself up for some things that you did that you had no idea you did? Or even if you did, that now you're a lot more mature and you can say sorry for. Okay? We're not beating ourselves up. So on Tuesday with that moon trine and Pluto going reverse, it's like you want to change your life like everybody else needs to change your life. First of all, be easy on you. Second of all, moon in Gemini says, see the compartments. See how you can be superficial about this transformation. What are the things that you can do to aid your personal transformation and getting your power back slowly but surely and in a very effective way, in a non-possessive, emotional type of way. Don't hold on to anything that wants to leave, y'all, because it's going to bring you the same old stuff. You know what I really wanted to say. And then lastly, on Tuesday, Venus trines Saturn. Ooh, I love that Venus is trining Saturn because I'm really not reporting the depth of what this Pluto and Neptune and Mercury and all the things I said for Tuesday is really going to show you. Like literally on Tuesday, please leave a comment for me if this happens. Literally, we'll start to feel at the end of Monday or most of Tuesday like I'm exposing myself. People see everything about me in this moment in time, and it's slightly uncomfortable. Or you can be that kind of person where you don't mind showing yourself. Well, with Venus trining Saturn on that very day, you see the worth in exposing yourself. And not only that, you start to clap for your own self. You have pride in yourself for doing the work that Saturn said to do. If you are one of those people who have been paying attention, haven't been hard-headed, you know what I mean? You have been paying attention to what Spirit says. You have been listening to your ancestors and your guides. You have been forgiving yourself and other people, even though it may have been difficult. I'm not saying you was perfect at it. I'm saying you tried, really tried. Here's the value in that. Here's some type of monetary possibly reward for that. Here's some love that can come into your life. Now, it could look like more love from your current partner or more love from a new lover or a new connection or just more self-love within yourself that has your spine a bit more erect. It gives you the opportunity to be proud of you for doing the work, boo-boo. Please do that. Please take a minute to be proud of yourself and to appreciate everything that goes on around you, because truly we are walking into a tunnel. Squirrel, we are walking into a moment. And by the way, if you're new, when I do squirrel, that means downloads are coming and I can't stop. We are walking through a tunnel of the most miraculous, the most beautiful type of personal changes that we have overcome in years, possibly decades. And some are running for the hills like roaches into the back of your goddamn closet. I said that, roaches. The bottom line is some don't want to see what Pluto is revealing, what Saturn has revealed, what Neptune is revealing, what that full moon twice this month in Capricorn is revealing. There's a lot of revelations happening that are not personal. And if you're the type of person that's been putting in the work, you dig, and you are glorifying in the best way possible this tunnel motion that we are in, meaning that we can't see where we're going, y'all. All we see is the light. All we see is what's before us. We have no idea what's around us, behind us, what's coming for us, what's underneath us. But we know that that light is calling us. We are in this tunnel moment and we've been doing the work. Saturn been showing us to stay prayerful. Pluto's been showing us to transform our lives. Neptune has been showing us to get rid of the things that have been keeping us subconsciously in our escapisms, right? If you've been that person like available and ready to see all these things about yourself, Venus trine in Saturn late Tuesday will go, here's the rewards. At the very least, here's the self-love and the self-care that you have been praying for. To put your spine, again, a little bit more upright. Because as long as you clapping for you, baby, it don't matter who's not. How about that? So be proud of you, all right? I hope you get that. And if you didn't, rewind, selector. I got lots to say today. And on Wednesday, with that moon staying in Gemini, it will square Saturn in Pisces going retrograde. Do you see that back and forth moment? Here's the deal. The day before, Saturn and his lessons and his fears and his hard work in Pisces was being celebrated. Where on Wednesday, the moon, which again is our feelings and reactions, which is quite fleeting now. So don't put too much weight on what this moon in Gemini wants to say, because this moon in Gemini squares Saturn. This moon in Gemini makes light of all the work Saturn just did. This moon in Gemini wants to talk mess about all the work Saturn and Pisces just did. This moon in Gemini wants to put more reverence and more reward on the crafty, the witty, the communicative, the learned person. Whereas Saturn says, well, the reward is going to come from those who are diligent to their emotional body, to their spiritual body. There's a conflict that day. The emotions say, well, I'm the best because I am smarter. Listen. And then Saturn says, yeah, but we worked hard, so recognize my emotional maturity. You dig? The bottom line is one is not better than the other, y'all. So don't find yourself on Wednesday in a very pompous, almost arrogant position of thinking that you may be the smarter one that outbeats the one or outbeats yourself who's been doing the spiritual work. The spiritual work is necessary. On that day, you may take the wit with the moon being in Gemini, the fast talking and the fast thinking to bring you places, but please don't let it override the work that you've done. Okay? Spirit is still watching, and so are your ancestors. On Thursday, we wake up with the moon in Gemini, but then by 4:51 p.m. Eastern time, the moon goes into Cancer. That's right. So while the moon is in Gemini, it will square Neptune going reverse. Here comes this moon in Gemini again, doing its best to keep things superficial in the best way possible. The moon in Gemini does not allow us to get so heavy in our feelings, right? But when it goes up against a feeling planet, which is this Neptune in Pisces squaring this moon in Gemini, it asks that you take a moment and give water, give feelings, give intuition their just due as well. The bottom line is the moon in Gemini is purposeful on that day. Again, keeping us light and superficial and airy and effective, communicative. However, with Neptune going reverse in Pisces, it's saying, yo, I'm a little cloudy. I may not have my words all the way. I may not finish my sentences, but it doesn't mean that I'm less intelligent. It doesn't mean that the next person is less intelligent. The mind seems cloudy that day because the spirit is going through its own transformation, getting rid of subconscious and unconscious things that no longer work for us. And the moon in Gemini is like, figure it out, figure it out, figure it out. Well, we may not be able to figure it out that quickly. So we get more confused. Please try your best not to get confused on Thursday and be easy on yourself and everybody else, because everybody is appearing to hold on to their intellect, their college degree, their understanding and comprehension of a thing, but actually they are being wrung out from the inside out and they can't make sense of it at the same time. You dig? Just be patient that day. On Friday, the moon will be in Cancer, and then there's a new moon in Cancer at 6:57 p.m. Eastern Time. That new moon in Cancer, as you already know, brings new opportunities for new Cancer information to come on through to you, boo-boo. It don't matter what sign you are. That new moon says, listen, can you start a new relationship with your family? Can you start a new relationship with your mother, with your daughter, with the women in your family? Can you look at the past? Literally look at the past and the things that you've gone through and all the mistakes and all the things that you've done, and actively forgive yourself and then surrender. New opportunities to surrender into what the future is bringing and allow the past to be the past. That new moon in Cancer says, yo, get some new emotions on you. Feel good, feel soft. Again, forgive yourself and love yourself. Cancer energy is very much of a leader too. So where are the new opportunities for you to feel different about your life? Can you wake up on that new moon, July 5th, that new moon day, and go, you know what? I'm putting my fist down. Joy is going to take over me now. Joy is taking over my mind, my body, and my soul. Nothing else is permitted. And if it tries to get in, I'm just going to love it all up so I can change this vibration. New moon in Cancer says change the vibration of the love that's around you by loving yourself first, and everything that comes into your life will start to love you up just as well. You dig? And do your best. Try not to eat too much on that day. Again, like I said, Taurus and Cancer moon, woohoo! We eat a lot during that time. It feels good. Also on Friday, Mars in Taurus will sextile Saturn in Pisces, going retrograde. I like that. And you see, I'm on Saturn and Pisces side. Why? Because it's digging us out from the inside out, making us do the hard spiritual work that we've been trying to do for so long. And with Mars sextiling Saturn, even though it's going reverse on that day, Mars is giving us more propulsion. Mars is saying be a little bit more diligent. Remember, Mars is in Taurus. So it's going to push, but it's going to push in a solid, definite, loyal, devoted type of way. There's no way that Mars in Taurus lets his foot up off the gas. Understand this. It may not be moving too fast, but his foot is on the gas until it gets to its destination. So on Friday, if you are being propelled by yourself or by other people that are around you to get the spiritual lesson, to get the hard work, just stay there and take it, because it's necessary, y'all. It's time we move out of these old doctrines and these old ways of setting up how secure we thought we felt. You thought an apartment and a car and a nice vacation every now and again made you feel secure. Example, well, maybe you're the type of person where you need a little bit more and or a little bit different in your life. Mars on this day, Friday, is pushing Saturn to go get more, go get different for what you deserve, for what you've been working for, not what you thought was what you're supposed to receive, not what you thought was ambition. Y'all get what I'm saying? You deserve your heart's desire, not what you grown up thinking that you was supposed to receive in order to make you successful. You dig? Picket fence, 2.2 kids. That may not be your story. Go get your story, y'all. Mars style. On Saturday, with that moon being in Cancer still, it's going to slide into Leo later that night. But most of the day, the moon will stay in the Cancer and it will sextile Mars. The moon sextile in Mars is oh so juicy and so delectable. Because that moon in Cancer says, yo, my reaction, my feelings is all about the feelings. And Mars says, well, I'm going to give it to everybody in a devoted type of loving, type of understanding way. I like that. Mars won't stop until everybody feels the love. And on Saturday as well, that moon in Cancer will conjunct Venus in Cancer. Ooh-wee, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it's a loving day. It's a loving day, y'all. Get connected with your sisters, and I mean the sisters that feel like your sisters. The women that feel like those that not necessarily came out of your mama's body, but those that are like women that are connected, that are divinely placed in your life to teach you how to be women, to build better women communities. I mean this with everything in me, because the women are saving society like we do over and over and over again. And energetically, when we have these opportunities where Venus is highlighted, where Cancer is highlighted, where this loving energy is highlighted, it prompts the heart to do more than what it has been doing. So we can get an influx of love that comes in when it's absent. It's time for that, because in some short months, it'll be a lot of confusion with this election coming up, with people feeling a certain type of way on the street. So make sure we get an overabundance of love, and make sure we peep out who's loving us and who's in our corner from a real authentic space. Also on Saturday, very quickly, that moon in Cancer sextiles Uranus and Taurus. It's all about the change, boo-boo. You feel the change coming on with that moon there? Uranus says, yep, here I am. I'm changing in a methodical kind of way, like I have been for the last almost 2 years in Taurus. I'm changing. Nice and assured and easy, but I'm changing. And I'm going to love myself up with that moon in Cancer while I do it. All I'm saying, it's a love fest coming down this week, y'all. Get it on you and tuck some in your bra or in your pipe for later. We're going to need it. And lastly, on Saturday, the moon trines Neptune. Go in reverse. So the sky opens up and becomes clear. Even though it's going retrograde and Neptune is saying review these things, the moon is saying, okay, we can do this in a harmonious way. We can do this in an emotional way in which I may cry, but I'm going to release. Please know that the tears and the water, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio, always promotes us to cry, but not to hold on to the tears and to blame anybody for the tears, but to release and to let go of the debris and the old feelings and thoughts and situations that happen that no longer pay rent. You dig? It doesn't serve us any longer. So yes, with that moon in Cancer trining Neptune and Pisces going retrograde on that day, allow our imaginations to flourish and to clean out. Allow the tears to wash away any delusions or confusions that we had in the past. Allow it all to come to the surface. Why? So we can start living in a new reality. The reality that we dream of. The reality that we put the flowers and the love and the emotions around the Cancer style. And the reality in which we feel good about ourselves and the family that we devise around us. Okay? It's that time. Y'all don't understand me? Ask questions. And then on Sunday, it's July 7th. It's my solar return. I will be 54 years young, and I am loving this life more so now than I ever have. Trust and believe maturity makes you feel good. Eyebrow exclamation. So that day, the moon will be in my moon. Ow, moon in Leo. Come on with it. Shine in the confidence and the courage and the pride and the will and all the joy and heart-centered energy that you can give. Yes, Leo is heart-centered. Cancer is emotional, but Leo is heart-centered. It gives with generosity, like the sun does. The sun rules Leo. So on Sunday, on my Earth Day solar return, the moon will conjunct Mercury. I love that, because that means we're going to say all the things that we're going to say. That means we're going to feel the things that's on our mind. That means that everything is lining up when the emotional body connects with the brain. Everything that is said is felt. That's all that matters. That's all that matters, is that you represent yourself that day from the heart center and say it out loud, regardless of how it makes you look, how different it makes you look, how independent you may have to be in that thought and in that feeling. But it's okay. Get it on them. Remember, it's about the love that day. Just speak in love. Ooh-wee. And if this is not a good solar return present, I don't know what is. The last aspect is the moon will sextile Jupiter late that night. The moon in Leo will sextile Jupiter in Gemini late Sunday night on my solar return. Yes, so I gotta stay awake so I can get them little sprinkles on me. The moon, again, being about expression, the expression of pride and courage, and maybe I'll flirt that day, because that is an expression as well, can bring me them skills, can bring me some opportunities, can bring all things out of Jupiter, can bring the spiritual understanding of things. Jupiter brings expansion and evolution. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So please be mindful of how you feel that day. Right? And the pride that you feel that day, open-heartedness that you feel that day for yourself and others to bring on Jupiter's blessings. It's all for you, but it starts with you. You feel good? Here comes the good feeling. It's not anybody's responsibility to make you feel good. You know that, right? It starts with you. All right, everybody, let's get down on it and pick the card for the week. I haven't seen this card in a long time. Totality. Check it out. These three women are high in the air, playful and free, yet alert and interdependent. In a trapeze act, nobody can afford to be a little bit absent, even for a split second. And it is this quality of total attentiveness to the moment at hand that is represented here. We may feel there are too many things to do at once, but get bogged down in trying to do a little bit here or a little bit there, instead of taking one task at a time and getting on with it. Or perhaps we think that our task is boring because we've forgotten that it's not what you do, but how you do it that matters. Developing the knack of being total and responding to whatever comes as it comes is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Taking one step through life at a time, giving each step your complete attention and energy can bring a wondrous new vitality and creativity to all that you do. Ashe. I hope this card hits you somewhere deep in your chest in which it can be utilized. Totality, y'all. Be present in everything that you do this week, okay? And I'm going to be out of here for the next 2 weeks, by the way. The Word Life Astrology Retreat is going to Belize next week. And I'm taking 2 weeks off, so you won't see me. And when I come back, I may have a little switch up on this thing here. So be on the lookout for that, okay? I'd appreciate it. Please stay connected. Follow me on Instagram at Wordlife, Sonja Marie, and also on Facebook, Word Life Astrology, Sonja Marie. I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks. Take care of yourself and always, always stay in the light. Choose the light. It'll lead you in the right direction. Adios.